Parenting through partner betrayal trauma. That's our topic today. If you have yet to subscribe to our channel, you want to do that because we have so much for those of partners who've been betrayed. And also, if you have a question, put it in the box. We want to hear from you. Parenting through partner betrayal trauma is different than your parenting prior to understanding that your spouse had a infidelity, sexual addiction, intimacy, anorexia, and has created legitimate trauma in your life. If you were in a horrific car accident and you had limitations, maybe you broke your arm or a leg or hip, and you were actually going to take, maybe 12, 16 weeks to really gain your full strength back, how would you have to adjust? Well, in your mind, which is really the biggest part of your battle as a mom or as a dad, you would definitely have to go, okay, I am at maybe 60 or 70% or 50% of what I can actually do. Now, because of that, I might have to get rid of some things I would normally do. Maybe I'm not going to be on the volleyball team. I'm not going to be able to do this activity or that activity or go for a walk with my, girlfriends or play golf with my guy friends. I'm not going to be able to do that. Right now, I'm going to need to reprioritize, and my healing is going to need to take a priority. And you would have physical therapy appointments. You would have stretch exercises. You would probably be taking up anywhere from 3 to 6, 7 hours of your week just doing the recovery. And that's not including the extra rest that you need so that your body could actually heal. So you would automatically start putting those grids in. You would lower your expectations as far as being a mom or being a dad. You would realize that you can only be so much for them. So you would prioritize when they need you the most. Whether it's after school or at an event or in the morning, whatever it is you feel like they need you the most, that's where you would put your energy in the primary slot for parenting. And you'd also have to be able to communicate to your spouse, listen, I'm going to need more time. I'm going to need to be able to take a hot bath or an Epsom salt or whatever you've been recommended to do. I need you to pick up a little bit here. And because of the trauma, and as a partner betrayal trauma, it's because of the trauma that they did to you. Okay? And so it's okay to make those kind of requests for support. You might even consider for 2 or 3, 4, or 5 months, depending on the age of your children, if you need extra support, whether that's a nanny, a professional, or a parent, or someone to come aside you, especially the first month or so, when you find out that your husband has an addiction, pornography, infidelity, or you just realize the last 20 or 30 years of your life, they've been starving you out with intimacy and anorexia, you're in trauma. If you haven't read the Partner Betrayal Trauma book or watched the DVD, highly recommend that. And I'd recommend that your spouse would watch that as well, because it statistically shows you are in PTSD, you have the possibility for depression, lower self-esteem, and so many other scales and symptoms you would have, we already measured and researched. So it'd be important for you to know what those are for you, because those are going to be your priorities in healing. Now, let's move to you. You're going to need to up your self-care game. It's very common, especially for women, to abandon themselves during the parenting years. You can't do that and heal as effectively. So you're going to need to make sure that you get maybe a massage, or make sure your nails are being done, your hair is being done. Make sure that you are exercising to some degree, going for walks, stretching, go to the gym. If you need to hire a trainer just to get yourself to the gym, do that. Whatever you need to do to make sure you're physically active. And why? You need your body to release some of the toxins. You need your body to sweat a little bit. You need to be able to release the stress. You need to increase the positive chemicals in your brain on a consistent basis. Look at your food, and seriously, if you're consuming a lot of processed foods, and that's the stuff that comes out of bags and cans, you need to look at that. I would prefer that you eat healthier. It's real simple. If God made it, it's probably better for you than if you can't read the ingredients on the back of a can. Okay? You want to make sure you're eating healthy and not turning to food, which is very common for partner betrayal trauma women to do, is to turn to food. You don't want to turn to unhealthy food. Sleep is also important. Make sure you get quality sleep and a good sleep. Even if you need some assistance in that, there's natural products that you can use to help ease that. If you relax in a hot bath, get those a few times a week. Schedule them in, and solicit this kind of calendar around you to make sure that you're good. Now, your actual healing, your therapy, your stuff like that, you need to have a schedule for that. The most important thing here is to be a good parent, you're going to have to be good yourself. So you're going to need to probably find someone who specializes in partner betrayal trauma. And the only people that are certified in partner betrayal trauma are at AASAT, AASAT.org. Go there or call our office, 719-278-3708, because everyone there is a specialist in this area. And so you want to talk to a woman or a man, and men, if you haven't watched the Betrayed Man DVD, I would recommend that you do that for yourself to see what you need to do to heal, because there are some things you can do. And I would recommend therapists as well that specializes in that. So you're going to need probably someone like that, a counselor or coach that knows partner betrayal trauma. Being in a group will totally make you a better parent and quicker to heal. You'll have a place where you are understood, and you have some phone numbers you can call during the week, because when you have that up and down time, it's not going to happen during your therapy hour. It's going to happen when you're putting dishes away. It's going to happen when you're driving your kids to school. It's going to happen just serendipitously, and then you can find yourself experience the grief, which is one of the things you'll address in therapy. You'll address the anger. You'll address the sadness. You'll address the need for boundaries and things like that. That's why the therapy is so important for you, because it keeps you on track. And if you're in a group, that'd be fantastic, whether it's a phone group or an in-person group. You need to work through Partner Recovery Guide and or the Partner Betrayal Trauma. I would recommend both, actually, because they are like therapy in a box. I've been working with partners now for 40 years, and I know what works for partners, and a lot of that's in the workbooks that you can do. If you can accelerate your trauma, I would recommend you come to Heart to Heart Counseling Center and do a 5-day intensive, and do the neurological rebalancing of your brain, because sometimes it's your brain that literally took the hit. And you're cognitively less neuroplastic than you were prior to the trauma. And we've seen so many women and men go through this, and their brain actually changes. You can see it. It's measurable. And so that could be super helpful for you as a mom or as a dad, because then you're more neuroplastic in your parenting. Now, the kids, there's a whole thing, what to tell the kids. There's a video on that. I'm not going to go much into that, but I would say they need to know only what they already know, and I would be very careful about putting things into their hearts and minds as they're developing. You want to still have your boundaries with your kids. You don't want to operate from a place of guilt because of what's happened. You want to operate from just being steady, same boundaries, same family rules. Try to keep their rituals as normal as possible, so that as you're healing, you're going to get stronger, and generally it's going to be almost quarterly. You'll see a huge difference in your strength coming back, a huge becoming more like you used to be. So many women who've gone through the partner betrayal counseling and groups, they get to that a lot quicker. The number one thing you don't want to do is try to do partner betrayal trauma healing by yourself. If you were hit by a car and you had this broken and you had this surgery and you know, all this stuff. And they said, if you want to have a normal life, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to go to physical therapy, and they're going to stretch you, and it's going to hurt, and you're not going to want to do it, but then you're going to have a wider range of motion. And if you do what we're telling you to do, it is possible you could have a normal life again and walk and run and play tennis and do things you were doing. But if you don't, you're going to have the consequences. Now, you didn't cause the accident. You didn't cause the betrayal. You have 0% responsibility in them betraying you, but you have 100% responsibility in you healing. And you healing is a parental responsibility, because the more whole you are, the stronger you are. You're going to have space for the daily frustrations and wear and tear of parenting. You're not going to react out of your own hurt and anger because you're dealing with that. You're not going to say things you shouldn't say or be short. But if you do not get support, your parenting will largely be affected, and your kids will pay a price they didn't have to pay because of what the other person did. They're going to pay a price because of what you didn't do. And that's 100% on you. And your children are worth having a healthy mom or dad. And I want to encourage you to reach out if you need to. I hope this has been helpful. Seriously, subscribe to our channel just because we have so much just specifically for you. And also, you got a question, put it in the box. And I would really say today, take the next best step for you.